हेलो एंड वेलकम टू इंग्लिश लवर्स बाय हनीडी माय डियर फ्रेंड्स। आज हम करेंगे लाइक ऑल दोज वर्ड्स विच आर लेफ्ट फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस टू लर्न एक्चुअली रिगार्डिंग द वोकेबलरी. So just give me some time so that I can see that live session on my mobile phone. Mm, yeah, I hope you all can see me. We are on our eighth session uh, about different words that we are going to deal with. So I will try to simplify as much as possible whatsoever words are there, whatsoever words we are going to deal with. And I believe people would learn something from these words that they can be applied in their daily life in many ways. Well, if we say communication, communication can be a different phenomena. Word learning is different, is one of the fundamentals that are required for communication. So I think knowing new words can really help you out. Knowing new words actually can help you out to um, have some stimulus to talk on, some material to talk on. um, I would try to simplify my language as much as possible so that all can be what we say, all can be kept into consideration, so that I will consider all of my learners to be of importance, not only the people who can understand advanced learning or advanced English. Uh, that is my fundamental for now onwards. What I am thinking is, if people are going to focus on only one particular genre or one particular class of people, then I don't think all will be able to understand what I'm trying to help with. Right now, I'm sharing this live session with people, so help me out in that case if you can. You can also share the same with others. As I will start speaking about words, I may forget about talking to you on the chat, or maybe I will be able to do that. But for now, I can just say one thing: keep learning, keep improving yourself is only fundamental motto that I have for people to grab. Another thing is, I know that I am not that consistent as other YouTubers, but I won't give excuse for that, like why I don't come live every now and then. My main motto, or my main motive behind coming live, is to help out people if they are interested to get the help. I'm not forcifying any kind of help on anyone who doesn't want to get it. So, no strings attached. I would just recommend you all, be a force to help people around you, be helpful to as many as people, so that you may have someone um, to look after you when there is a need or desire comes in your life. Mm, I never meant to say this thing or this statement for the sake that I expect something from my viewers or something. I expect that my main motive is to help you out in achieving your goals, of improving yourself. So, if you will do your duty of learning well, I would applaud that far better than assisting me out in any other case except learning. So, I consider learning is two-way phenomena. You teach also, you learn also. That goes vice versa. So, I consider that the words that I'm going to talk about, you would definitely adapt in your life and will understand them really well. So, without doing any further delay, let's talk about the words that are there for today's learning. The word that we have as our first word is adapt. Adapt, not even adapt, it is adapt. Adapting is something like being very good at something or being proficient in something. That would be adapting. And adapting uh, has to be done in many cases, like communication. He's adept in communication. We can have example like that. And as far as a given example there is concerned, that is the carpenter is very adept at building houses. Means to say the carpenter is very good at making or building houses, not making houses but building houses. I believe you must have understood what I meant to say by the word adept. So if somebody is adept in something, that means somebody is good in doing that thing. He is adept in teaching people, or he is adept in keeping himself fit. It can be any way. Like if somebody is good at some skill, for that person you can use the word adept. Now the next word is barren. Barren. Barren is a word that I actually learned in my geography book in my school times. Uh, During that period of time, I learned something about this. Um, like a land which does not, you know, like which is not fertile one, and which is infertile, or what we say, yeah, where plants are very much unable to grow. So that land is a barren land, and the given like definition for that, if the land is barren, it has no plants growing on it. That means so it has lost its fertility, and it has lost its power to grow something in that. And if something has lost uh, power to grow ideas, you can use it metaphorically. The word barren can be used metaphorically, saying barren mind. One should not carry the barren mind, one should carry uh, the fertile mind, which will which will adapt, which will adapt to the change, not adapt, which will adapt to the change, and would bring improvement in oneself by making some changes in his life or her life, whomsoever it is. Doesn't matter like what person we are talking about, but we talk about uh, anything like that goes in life. If you allow change to come in your way, that means you are not barren. You are allowing things to grow. That is the main fundamental of life. Life means to smoothly move with the passage of time. It doesn't mean like staying barren or staying infertile in life. So if a land is barren, then it does not have the capability or ability to grow something on it. So it's clear that common sense is there that exists that the people cannot do farming on the barren land. So that is the next word that we have done. And next is ceramic. When the word ceramic comes in my mind, I reach to um, a shop where we get colors for the houses, like where we get what we say the stampers, or we try to buy brushes, we buy hardware material for our house like Asian paints. I remember that. So whenever ceramic comes into my mind, so ceramic is related to that. If something is ceramic, it is made of baked clay. So when it says baked clay means something which is heated up, a clay which is heated up and baked properly, and then when it is properly baked, it has been used in a ceramic form. So ceramic would be something which is heated clay. In a layman's language, we can say that. So the house's roof was made of ceramic tiles. When we say ceramic tiles, that means to say clay tiles. Obviously, all the tiles that we use in our house or in our houses, those are sometimes made from uh, like these baked clays and all, and sometimes they are from stone, but which are very costly somehow. But these are baked clay, and they come as come in the cheaper price, at the cheaper price, not in the cheaper price, but at the cheaper price. So when something comes at the cheaper price, obviously we will buy that one. So ceramic products are very common to buy these days. Next is culinary. So culinary, it is not culinary, it is culinary. A sound comes into being, like as you can see even in your phonetic transcription that is given there for IPA, like accordingly IPA, the phonetic transcription is given there. What is culinary? Culinary, culinary. It is not culinary, culinary. So what is culinary? Culinary is something which is related to cooking. If you are talking about culinary art, that means you're talking about the cooking art. So I gained culinary skills. Culinary skills, that means cooking skills. Culinary skills after working in a restaurant for many years. So obviously, with the passage of time, even I got some culinary skills when I started living here in Canada. I started with nothing to be made to everything to be made. Like in the beginning, I tried to understand like how the people live here, how do they buy things, what things are cheaper, what things are good for them, what things are organic, what things are like would be beneficial for eatables. So after understanding that, I groomed some kitchen skills, the culinary skills, so that I can be independent. I should not be uh, based on somebody else's skills for making my food, for my food to be made. So that is why I thought that like I should actually hone some culinary skills. One should hone culinary skills in life so that to have a feeling of independence. Next is dense. So when even dense comes, obviously the subject of geography come in my mind. I remember in the geography subject we had a term called dense, but that was used for population. In our case it was used for population. So densely populated areas, sparsely populated areas, something was there in geography, I remember. So here dense also means like if something is dense, it has a lot of things close together. That means, you know, very there is people are living very close to each other. Houses are very close. Everything is very close, and even there is very much less space. Congested. Everything is congested. If there is a congestion in something, so there we can say that there is denseness of something. So I easily became lost in a dense forest. So I easily became like it's a past tense in this statement. I easily, adverbial is used here. Adverb is used easily. How? It's easily. So I easily became lost in the dense forest. Like I became lost in the dense forest very easily. Dense forest, that means where the trees were very close to each other, the bushes were so many, there were big trees, tall trees, there were like there was a denseness of something, like denseness of greenery. Just because of dense greenery over there, I got lost. That means I was unable to find my way in that area. I was unable to search my way in that area just because of dense forest. Because the forest was filled with lots of things, like even feelings of terror or horror come in mind. Like when it comes to when we are in a dense forest, we feel like there would be wild animals, there would be so many dangerous adventures that can come in our way, and we may feel threatened by that. So that is why, like dense, I think I hope I am able to clear this word. Now the next word is dignity. Dignity is a very beautiful word, I must say, because I love this word. I believe in it. Dignity. So dignity is the ability to be calm and worthy of respect. So people who are worthy of respect, they are dignified. We call them dignified people who who value somebody's presence, I would say. So dignity is the ability, that means ability means to be able to do something, to be able to be calm and worthy of respect. When his company went out of business, he faced it with dignity. That means, like, when he was feeling like near to bankruptcy, he faced it with dignity. That means he faced it with calmness and with full of respect. He did not lose his temperament and tried to do what was right and what was good for him. So dignity is something that I value the most, even in my life too. The person who dies physically, I think that's not the death of the person, but the person whose dignity is no more is actually no more. So if you have your dignity, save it and use it for your excellence and your success in your life, I must say. Now, next word is dominate. There would be so many people around you who would try to dominate you, who would try to suppress you, and would try to make you feel low, and would sometime um, positively dominate you just because you are being itchy or you are being awkward in something. So domination is not right, like Hitler had done that. The people who were tyrannical or the people who were slave drivers, they all have done something bad. What they have done is they had been dominating, and people had been dominated by them. So dominate means to dominate someone or something is to control them. So controlling them to an extent, like people will feel um what we say, strangulated. If one is feeling strangulated, if one is feeling breathlessness, you are trying to dominate the person. And if some people have patience, they can really um, relate to that, or they can understand that, like, yeah, uh, everything passes. Bad times, they pass. So they don't worry about like people who dominate them. So people who dominate others, one or the other time, because the what goes round comes round, like what we say, what goes round comes round. That means, even we say normally the earth is very small place, it's quite round. Like what yeah, say somebody, it will come back to you. If the people dominate you, one or the other day, like what we say, universe dominate them. So they don't get time, then thereafter they don't find ways, like if the whole universe is going to make some kind of conspiracy to dominate them. So domination is not right. I would say that domination is not good. One should be considering others to be of same status. um, there is no hierarchy. The god has created these systems, these powers, and all that thing that comes into being are created by human beings. And we don't know like whether there is any god or not, but we believe in that. So what has been given to us, what has been conspired to us, or what has been I would say conspired to us, what has been proposed to us, we start believing in that. So that's the thing, like we should not be dominating, uh, but we should be dominating in positive sense. One should be dominating in positive sense, like if somebody is playing a game or a football game or a cricket game or any other kind of game, and if you are dominating in that sense, you're trying to help your team to succeed by being dominating on other team. That's a sports, like under the sportsman spirit, like you have to be dominating in that case. So as we say, every coin has two sides, every word has two sides. Like we can consider its meaning in a positive sense or also in the negative too. Now next word is edible. Edible is something which can be eaten, something which is Edible oil, I remember that I edible oil is the term that comes in my mind, what I have read in my time. But in the picture, somebody is eating some flowers or something, I guess. So edible means something which is eatable. Like edible means something which is eatable. If something is edible, edible. Okay. If something is edible, it's something that you can eat. We learn from edible plants. We learn about edible plants when we go camping. No such kind of thing happen happens in India. Maybe there would be some schools who used to do that, like when they go for camping, they learn it. But camping must be done. I believe that every school should do that. Every school should help people or help pupils or the learners out to go on camping and learn about the edible plants, or like those plants which are not edible too, so that like when they are in danger, or they are in a dense forest, they may be able to recognize what they can eat and what they can't. So edible plants are those one which can be eaten, which we can eat, or which anyone can eat. And I think that must be taught to everyone, how to know about edible and non-edible plants. Next word is, I think, hostile. One is hospitable and one is hostile. Hostile is something rude, okay, or kind of rough, I would say. Hostile goes for something or someone who is angry and very unfriendly. Hostile can be your condition too. Like, I live in a hostile conditions. I lived in hostile conditions for some time when I was in India, mm, working in a school for some time. I was going through the rough time. Um, and the other term that can come into being here for this particular word is hostility. Like, the hostility of the situation made me feel bad, and it was quite unfriendly environment, and quite of filled with jealousy, rudeness, anger within self. Like, people were not at ease for some time. So hostility was there, or the things were quite hostile. mm, so I did not like that period of time. I don't like that particular period of my life. mm, and if someone is hostile, they are angry and unfriendly, that's given there. We are happy to move away from our hostile neighbor. Like, if your neighbor is a hostile one, very unfriendly, you don't like to keep company with that person. You don't like to see the face even. Nobody likes to do that. If somebody is hostile and somebody is not welcoming, hostile's opposite would be welcoming. Like, quite welcoming. If someone is welcoming, someone is quite friendly, someone is quite calm by nature, and knows that, like, what's good and what's bad for him, and knows that how to keep company with other, and person is amicable or amiable, the person is socializing. So one should not be hostile, or one should know about hostility sometimes, you know. Next is intake. Intake means, like, when we are talking about intake means to say, mm, intake means to say, like, when we are engulfing something inside, or we are trying to take in the food. Your intake of food is the amount of food you take into your body. What is your intake? That means what is your intake in one meal? The doctor said that I needed to increase my intake of fruits and vegetables. Like how much of the quantity I should eat is my intake. What is your intake? That means my intake is I eat 3 meals a day, but out of those 3 meals, I eat more of the organic food stuff. Like I eat less sugar, but more of the fruits. But the fruits used to carry sugar, but that's natural. So your intake of food is the amount of food that you eat. Okay. So intake of food is the amount of food that you eat. I hope the word is clear to you. Next is likewise. Likewise is a very common word, but somehow um, that's used in a different sense. If someone does something likewise, it means to say that they do the same thing as someone else. That means they are copying someone. Likewise, he did. The way I did something, if somebody is doing the same thing, that means he's doing the likewise. He's doing the likewise. That means malnutrition. Sorry. If Joe is staying away from school to go swimming, I want to do likewise. That means I'm interested to do the thing that Joe is doing. If Joe is staying away from school to go to swimming, that means somebody is trying to escape from the school by joining the swimming class. That I would love to do the same. That I would do the likewise. That means I would enhance the skill of my swimming instead of going to school. They say that in the sentence, but I would recommend you do the both of them. Go for school and join some swimming classes. There are people who do that. There are people who do swimming as well as education at the same time. You do the likewise. That means copy them, follow them. Then comes another word, that is malnutrition. What is malnutrition? Nutrition is a nice word, is a very positive word, I would say. Malnutrition, on the other side, or on the other hand, I'm actually mixing two words. On the other hand, and on the other two side, on the other side, so it became sand. So malnutrition is um, is a negative word. So malnutrition, that means when the nutrition is not good. So malnutrition is the condition of not getting enough nutrients. Nutrients are good for our health. Proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, all such things are very good for our health. So malnutrition uh, has to be avoided. So malnutrition is a condition of not getting enough nutrients that are required for our body. As I mentioned, carbohydrates, fats, fats even are required to a certain extent. Every eating only a measure amount of food. Measure, that means like small amount. Only a small amount of food she suffered from. After eating only a small amount of food, she suffered from malnutrition, and the bones become visible. When the people are suffering from malnutrition, the bones of those people become visible just because of malnutrition, because they don't have all those nutrients which are required for their body. So that is malnutrition. Next is medication. Medication is a noun form. So any word which ends with tion would be a noun form, because it becomes the name of a process. So anything which is carrying a name, is a noun. So medication is a phenomena of medicating someone. Medication is medicine or drugs given to people who are sick. The medication which is prescribed to you, you should take care of it carefully. Cautiously, you should um, look into your medication. People sometimes they go to the doctor, they buy the medicine, but they uh, like they don't eat the medicine or medication as prescribed. The way the medication is prescribed, one should intake it accordingly. So the doctor gave me medication to treat my illness. Okay. The doctor gave me medication to treat my illness. That means I was ill. Illness means the kind of disease or the kind of sickness that I have. To treat, obviously we got a nice word, even to treat. Treatment is always done for illness or sickness or a disease. So next is misconception. We got misconception. Misconception, that means when you are having a concept in the mind but it is not the right concept, and the idea has been given to you or proposed to you by some people, but you got misconception of that, like you understood it wrongly. So misconception is a wrong idea about something. That means having a wrong notion, a wrong fundamental for something is having a misconception. That is your misconception, we say that. It is not in a rude sense somebody tries to tell you. It's just for the sake of being cautious about you, or trying to tell you to be cautious about yourself, about a certain like concept or the topic. One person can say that you are misconcepted about it, or you have a misconception. I have some misconception about that. I had some misconception about something. So there you can say that having the wrong idea. Okay. Now the next word is obscure. Obscure. Obscure is a very beautiful word, let me tell you. First of all, let me actually speak the example of misconception. People once believed the misconception that earth is flat, but I actually cleared that in the beginning itself, like earth is round. But I even don't know, like I haven't seen it practically whether it is round or not. But based upon the facts and the studies that I have read about, or the books that I have read about, or the education my teachers have given me or my schools have given me during my school days, accordingly that the earth is round. So earlier there was a misconception that the earth is flat. People had that misconception that the earth is flat, but which is not right actually. Earth is not flat, earth is round. Now next word is very beautiful word. Something which is obscure is something which is hidden, something which is not known to the people that much, something which is mystery for people, that is obscure. Something which is curtained or something which is veiled from the people is obscure. If the people uh, love adventurous life, they love obscurity, they love fantasy world, or they love imaginative stories like Cinderella and all that, or something they create in their brain, you know. So they are very creative. People who are very creative, they love obscurity, or They love to explore obscure things which are not well known to the people. So if it is not well known, that means it is obscure. Like some people think it is like a mythical element when we talk about in like Hindu culture. Some people consider it to be the mystery, but I consider it to be the history. It's my personal belief. Nobody can take it away from me. But some people are there who do not believe in that. But I particularly believe in it, and I believe there are some elements which are actually the signs of the reality of the history. To make them historical elements, we can have all those facts together, and we can say that that obscure thing is actually not obscure, is very much well known. So there are lots of things which are obscure, some stories which are hidden behind. The old man travels the world in search of obscure books. Like obscure books can be like which are old time books, or the books which were read earlier in the past. um, yeah, that's the thing. Next is oppress. Whenever I read this word oppress, um, I start to remind one book which was about like Mahatma Gandhi, experiments of life or something like that. And that one there, I just read the word oppression in some case, I guess. Then like I remember the words like that only, like relating to the different happenings in my life. I read the book. So in that one there was oppression, obviously. Oppression, like suppression, is more towards suppression. To oppress someone means like to rule over them in a cruel and unfair way. So Britishers did that in the past. So what did they do? They oppressed the people. Like even the Mughal Empire, during the Mughal Empire, we have seen that thing. Many rulers were so cruel, so unfair. Like Aurangzeb, he was so oppressive. You know, to be very much oppressive. Also, I told you he was an oppressive ruler. In oppressive word, we have it in the adjective form. Oppress is to like use it as a verb. When we are using it as oppress, oppressed, oppressed, so that will be the verb form. But when we say like if the word is to be used as oppressive will be adjective. So if somebody dealt with you oppressively, that would be adverb form. How somebody dealt with you, or dealt with the situation, or dealt with the people. So the free speech had been oppressed in his country. So maybe any country in the past had suffered like that. Now the next word is peel. So as you can see in the picture, peeling, that means outer covering of any fruit. To peel fruits or vegetables is to remove their skin. The outer covering, when we are removing that, the outer portion, when we are removing that, that means we are peeling it off. Peel off. We peeled the apple before eating it, but it is not necessary, I guess. No, maybe it is necessary. Many people may have done that or might be doing that, but I don't do that. I believe like one should wash it properly, and then it's good to eat. You know, like fiber and many other things that can be good for us. And even I don't like the stuff like just peeling it off. It's like making it naked and then eating it. It's not like that. I don't like that. So I love that, stuff, hard stuff when I eat it. So to peel fruits and vegetables is to remove their skin. We peel the apple before eating it. Next is prescription. I told you we talked about medication. The doctor, the doctor's medication. The doctor will prescribe you. Prescription is the list of medicines that are given permission to by the doctor. A prescription is a permission from a doctor to get medicine. That means that you can buy this medicine, and when we go to the pharmacy, the person who is dealing in the pharmacy, that person is going to see the prescription first, whether any doctor has told you to buy such medicine or not, or simply you are buying it for your own, on your own guidance. So the person will see that person who is working in a pharmacy, pharmacist, we can say that. Then there is a respirator. Respirator, like the both the term, like many of the terms are actually scientific in nature. Like respirator is related to respiration. Obviously, biology comes into my mind. So respirator is the machine that helps weak or sick people breathe. I don't know, like what do we call it, but I remember there is something called something like a machine. My father used to blow the air into that so that he would improve his breathing phenomena. Like he used to respire through that so that he may improve his breathing activity. The man needed a respirator to breathe. That means he required some oxygen. People who find it hard to breathe properly, they require respirator. Respiration is the process of actually inhaling and exhaling the air. Inhaling means taking in, and exhaling means bringing it out. So intake and outgoing of the air from the mouth is respiration. So respirator is the equipment that helps the people who are weak to respire, or who are weak to breathe in the air, to breathe properly. Then so respirator is that. Then the last word for this particular lesson is strive. What does strive stand for? To strive is to struggle to achieve something. He's striving. You can see in the picture. He's taking one leap after the other so that he may reach to a certain place or reach to a certain level, that he may succeed. People who strive to succeed often do hard work. Okay. People who strive to succeed often do. That means people who try to achieve something, or they go through struggle, they finally achieve the success. So these were the words that we have done in this lesson particularly. So we have adapt, barren, ceramic, culinary, dense, dignity, dominate, edible, hostile, intake, likewise, malnutrition, medication, misconception, obscure, oppress, peel, prescription, respirator, and strive. We got so many words, but I would like to know from you, like, how would you like me to actually teach you the words? Whether I should speak it in only and only English, and shall I translate those words in your Hindi, or in our Hindi language or Punjabi language? Let me know that in the comment section. And I expect that you guys are going to share this video as much as possible so that not only you but also others can get the benefit of the same. Thank you very much for giving your time, and I value your time. Thank you very much. Bye bye and take care. Have a nice day. Let me just